Mr. Hamdan, in the first 3 weeks of the agreement, Hamas released a total of 21 hostages in exchange for 566 Palestinian prisoners released by Israel. Do you know how many hostages could still be returned alive, and how many Palestinian prisoners could be released up to the end of the agreement?
Well, I'm not talk about the first stage because we can't talk about the whole arrangement. The second stage is not agreed on the details yet about the prisoners exchange. So if I want to talk about the first stage, there will be release of 33 Israeli prisoners in Gaza. We expect that 32 out of them are alive, and we will have for that 1,400 Palestinians who will be released from the Israeli jails. Part of them are children and women. Part of them, they were hostages taken after 7th of October from Gaza when Israel invaded. Whereas they were taken from the shelters, from the hospitals. Some of them, they were injured because of the Israeli bombings. They were taken at that time. And part of them, around 300, they were Palestinian freedom fighters who were arrested, some of them 40 years before, from several Palestinian organizations, Fatah, Islamic Al-Jihad, Popular Front, Democratic Front, and Hamas. So we are talking about around 1,700 Palestinians who are supposed to be released in the first stage.
Do you think that Marwan Barghouti could be freed in the agreement?
I believe that we will do our best to have Marwan Barghouti, Ahmed Saadat, and other senior Palestinian leaders. Israel has rejected completely to talk about those names. After the negotiations, the outcome was those names will not be included in the first stage, but there is no veto about having them in the first stage. For us in Hamas, we believe the prisoners exchange is a national issue. It's not an issue related to the Palestinian organization like Hamas. It's not our prisoners only. We are supposed to have all our prisoners as Palestinian prisoners. This is why when I was talking about the 1,700 Palestinians who will be released in this stage, the first stage, they are from all the Palestinian organizations. Maybe Hamas is less than 20% of them, and they are from all the Palestinian organizations. This is always our way to do that when we talk about the prisoners exchange. It's a national issue. Those people who are in the Israeli jails, they are freedom fighters. They have sacrificed to liberate their lands and their people. They have fighted the Israelis to have the freedom of their nation. So it's our duty to deal with that as a national issue.
Mr. Hamdan, most of the hostages, especially the women, seem to be in good health condition. How did Hamas manage to hide, protect, and feed them? How do you respond to allegations of mistreatment and even rape made by Israel?
Well, I think the allegations of Israel were discovered as great lies earlier in the 7th of October 2023 when they claimed that women were raped, children were beheaded, bodies were burned in ovens. They tried to bring back the images of Holocaust, but that was denied after a while. Even the people who talked about those stories or lies, they talked in public after 40 or 50 days that they have said that on purpose in order to support the Israeli military operation against the Palestinians in Gaza. They've said that in public. Everyone knows that it's lies now. When they talked about the Israeli prisoners in Gaza, they also tried to create a fake story that they were mistreated. Everyone realized how they were treated well, how they've talked in a positive way about the Palestinians. Even the woman who was liberated from Nusayrat, when Israel bombed Nusayrat and killed around 200 Palestinians to have her back, she talked, and she then was prevented from talking, that she was treated very well from a Palestinian family who they've used to take her to the markets with them, to walk around with them without any abuse for her. I believe that everyone knows that Israel is lying. The images of those Israeli prisoners in Gaza, it shows the fact they kept talking, and every time that the health is good, the situation is good. Even the last three, who it seems to me that they were not fit as the others, but they've talked that their health was good and they were treated in a good way by the Palestinians. It shows the difference between the real owners of the country, the Palestinians, how they treated even their enemies when they are captured in a good way, because they believe that this is their land and they will stay in this land and the future will be for them. While the Israelis, who knows that they have stolen this land, occupied this land, they are killing the Palestinians, and they are worried like a thief who may be discovered anytime, or he will be arrested anytime. So he rather prefer to escape all the time by protecting himself with some lies, saying that he's under attack, etc. So I believe now the image is clear, but unfortunately, it's clear for the people who only for the people who feel free. It's not clear for the United States administration, unfortunately, because they don't treat the international community on the basis of freedom. They are still think about the idea of slavery. They believe that they are the owners of the planet and everyone is their own slave. So they don't believe the people who are seeking to have their freedom. They believe the people who are seeking to have the Palestinians as slaves in their own homeland.